Happy Monday, everyone. It's Kimberly Beer here with Make It Happen Monday. One thing you can do this week to better market your business. So February in 2018 is all about getting to know your customers, because here's a sneak peek. In March, I'm going to be teaching you about how to create this really wow customer experience. But guess what? To get there, we really need to know our customers. And moreover, you need to really know your customers anytime you're creating marketing for them, because you have to realize what their pressure points are, what their pain points are, what their values are, what the benefits are, all of those things about them that get them to actually make the purchase, because that is what you're going to utilize in your marketing, as well as information about them such as demographics and groups and so on and so forth, so that you can target them using digital marketing. And it really does help save you time and money, as well as create more sales to really get to know your customers. Now, last week's episode, I gave you some questions and I challenged you to interview 7 of your customers. Now, I hope you have done that. If you haven't, this exercise is still really valid. But regardless, I hope you do go back and interview your customers if you did not. If you did, I'll bet you found it pretty enlightening. I know for us, even after having been in business for over 20 years, getting to know our customers again was really important. Over the last 20 years, my business has moved and shifted, and who we have or are attracting as customers has changed. Now, we still serve a certain population that we started out with, but we have added, and to be honest, the bulk of our clientele now share commonalities that first group did not. And making it a regular routine for us to be able to interview our customers is becoming very important to our business. And it's something that I plan on continuing to do it every single year, if not multiple times a year, to really get to know our customer base a little bit better. So, off my soapbox about that, let's go ahead and learn about how you can create your customer avatar. Now, if you did the interview questions from last week, I'd like for you to use those in creating your customer avatar. And I'm going to give you some ideas about what's important for you to look for there. Now, if you didn't do the exercise or you haven't interviewed your customers lately, hey, it's not a problem. You can probably pinpoint most of these. The truly enlightening part, though, of the customer interview exercise is to figure out all those things that you may have been biased toward that you are missing in your target market. So I do recommend you go back and do it. All right, so what you're looking for are overarching commonalities, things that most of your audience share. So characteristics that are things like gender, or do they share a common income level, or do they share a common culture or group? What is it that they share overall? You also want to identify trigger points. That culture and that group could be a reason why they purchase whatever it is that your business has to sell or what your nonprofit has to promote. And also, the trigger points are really important in determining what actually has to happen before the customer makes a purchase. So one, a trigger point is, why are they even interested in your business? But 2, what has to happen before they pull out their checkbook and or pull out their credit card or sign a contract, whatever it is that works for your particular business. Now, those interview questions I gave you, 2 of them were set up to be able to get you the answer to this question here. So one of them talked about what motivated you to make that purchase, and the other one was, how did my product, service, nonprofit, how does it affect your life? Both of those are really key points in figuring out what the trigger points are for your customers and how that customer needs to interact with your business before they actually make the purchase. You also want to pinpoint value or vision alignments, places where your audience seems to all come together and feel the same way, particularly where it is concerned about your business. How does your business create a feeling or interaction with that your buyer desires? Now, do take a moment to reduce the overall target market by excluding outliers. At this point, you're creating a customer avatar, you're creating a target market. Your target is just that. It's meant to be pinpointed. It's not meant to be broad. It doesn't mean you're excluding those people from being able to work with your business. You're just excluding them from your customer avatar profile. So meet your customer avatar. Now, a customer avatar is a representation of your ideal customer. So that customer that you either are serving or hope to be serving if you're a new business. Now, here's the key to this. The more real you make this individual, the more likely you are to be able to steer your marketing in the correct direction. So if you have a very multifaceted business, it's okay to have a couple of different avatars. I'm going to give you permission to do that. The fewest will be the easiest. So pick one if you can. And make up a real name for it. You know, pick a customer, you can make one up, but give them a name. If you have a real customer and you use that for the basis of your avatar, maybe you want to give them a different name, but make sure that they do have a name that fits in alignment. Write their story down. No fewer than 500 words. I'm going to tell you need to do 500 words. Tell their story. What is a typical day like for your avatar? That could be their story. What is a typical experience like for your avatar? I know a lot of you are coaches out there. So coaches, pick the person that you feel that you could really help and write their backstory. What is it that has taken place in their lives that have brought them to you as a business? Who are they on a daily basis? Trust me, when you start to really think around these things, and it seems like it might not be toward marketing, but boy, it sure is, because then you can start to direct your marketing towards that particular individual. And trust me, it's a whole lot easier to write ad copy or to design an ad or to make a Facebook post or to create a brochure when you know you have in mind Gloria, and Gloria likes these things, and Gloria is part of this culture, and you can write directly to her versus writing to this nameless, faceless mass that doesn't seem very personal. Your writing will get more personal. Your ads will get more personal. And personal is what Gloria, or whomever your customer avatar happens to be, needs to see in order to be able to really interact and engage with your business. In this exercise, be specific and be creative. And you don't have to stick to 500 words. That's for our minimalists out there that don't think that they can do this and want to write 2 sentences. I want you to write more than that, but there is no limit. You can write a book about your customer avatar. The more you know about them, the easier it is to be able to reach them at the end of the day. So what should you really know, or what should you consider in this description or in this story? Consider the person's age, gender, education level, income level, location, as it impacts your business. So if your business serves both genders or all genders equally, then gender is not an important part of the sales process. Exclude that, but maybe age is. Maybe you need people to be, I don't know, over 30 before they're ready for your coaching service, or your art business appeals to people of a millennial age group. So take a look at age only as it relates to your business. That's true for all of these topics. Other things such as personality, style, attitude, the cultural connections, do those have any impact on somebody's interaction with your business? Does your business appeal to a certain culture? There's a great culture that follows Harley Davidson. There is a whole culture built around that, and Harley Davidson has made themselves a part of it. It didn't start out that way. It started out with people who had a culture of liking motorcycles. Now they have become a cultural icon inside of their brand. That's what I'm talking about here. Also look for intrinsic traits that your audience shares and make sure your avatar shares those as well. Values. Again, for coaches, a lot of you have customers that are going to have a certain value set. Maybe some of them need to have a certain religion in order to be able to really get the benefit of your coaching. Or maybe the thing is to not have a specific religion in order to get the benefit of your coaching. Do you see what I'm doing here? I know I do have some Christian coaches, and I know how I have some people who really specialize in non-denominational spirituality, where someone who is really strictly Christian wouldn't necessarily be as attracted to it. So you have to look at those intrinsic traits. Look at that customer's vision, their desires, their motivations. What is happening in their life? I know some of my clients work with people who are in recovery. So you obviously have to have some motivations to quit an addiction. And those are traits that you really need to look at in your customer overall group, and your avatar needs to have those characteristics. Also look at affiliations with those specific groups. Like I said, we had to use Harley Davidson as an example in personality and attitude and culture. But it could also be in that affiliation. Maybe you make a product that fits a certain group of people. Maybe you serve a certain group. I know I have people who follow me who build equipment just for construction and large scale construction. So they build very specialized equipment for very large operations. And that is a group, that is a very important group to consider in their customer avatar. That person that's making the purchasing decision is the avatar that they should be looking for. Do they belong to any specific organizations? Do they hang out on any certain social channels, or is there any kind of a network that pulls them all together? And most importantly, what do they love? What do they cherish? What really truly moves them from an internal level and makes them tick? What are their motivations? So those are some things about your target market and also about your customer avatar that you should really keep in mind as you write that description. So your challenge for this week to make it happen is to write that 500-word minimum customer avatar story. So give your avatar a name. And you know what? If you want, please share them with me. My email address is kimberlybeer@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you about your customer, about who it is that you're serving. I really would appreciate that. So if you do this exercise, hey, drop me an email if you're comfortable doing so and want to. I'd be happy to read what your customer's story is. And I will see you next week with another Make It Happen Monday, where we're going to take this concept one step further. So have a great week, and I'll see you next Monday. Thanks.